team, why did you decide to sponsorize this award? Well, this industry needs new talent, and we need to train them, we need to attract them. And I believe that a partnership between companies and universities is important because it means that the customers at the end will have more choice, and indeed, of course, we can push this further. I myself, when I was a student, completed my studies working as an intern in a French company. That's where I was able to improve my French, but also this is how I discovered the professional environment and the international environment. So it would be good to have the same, and maybe we can send French people to China, at least understand the Chinese market, because it's rather specific, it's rather different. I mean, in our company, we would like to welcome such international talents that are open and curious. Well, that's a fine initiative, and yes. Patrick, now, Le Serre, how did you finally come to your decision? I know that, I mean, it's a dissertation that's really worth presenting, but how did you make that decision? Well, I'll tell you all about it. I've been involved in that jury since the very beginning of this concept. So, good afternoon, everyone. By the way, just a side comment. I'm delighted to be with you today because, I mean, that makes me, brings me 15 years back. And I feel 15 years younger. That's always good. Anyway, we had a difficult choice to make because we had 3 dissertations to choose from, and they're all 3 at the top of I mean the highest possible level. And we really need to congratulate all of these dissertations, but all the students that work so hard, they certainly deserve our recognition. Now, about these dissertations, how to select the best. You have, it has to be objective, it has to be measurable. Here we want to document that both in terms of style and substance will be of good quality. So you need good content, but also it should be well written, no spelling errors. I mean, it sounds simple, but it has to read well. And reading these 3 dissertations was really pleasurable. So in terms of style, no issue. The content had to help transmit new knowledge. It had to be a conveyor of knowledge. And for those who are discovering an issue, for laymen discovering the document, the dissertation should be a useful document for somebody who knows nothing about the subject. And then this has to have connection with concrete applications in the insurance industry. And in other words, you have a step in the real world, a real hold in the real world. But then there's the cherry on the cake, as it were. Reading the dissertation, the reader should believe that the author was well received in the company he worked for. In other words, as a student, he or she should have enjoyed her internship, working with benevolent and open colleagues and partners. In other words, when you alternate between lecture hall studies and work, an internship in a company, the two should be well balanced, and that is clearly the case in the dissertation that we decided to recognize. And so the winner is, yes, please welcome Alice Kierkmori. She is the winner. She's the winner of that very special award. When she completed her studies, she wrote this remarkable dissertation. She wrote a dissertation on insurance of race boats. This was sponsored by the University of Aix-Marseille, and we'll have a representative of that university. But I would like to point out that this choice, this subject for the dissertation, is quite relevant because Alice herself is a well-recognized national and international athlete. She's a championship holder for the racing match in Spain. So she is. That's why she decided to look at the insurance of race boats, and she herself is an accomplished sailboat professional, and now she's already working for an insurance company looking at claims and remedies. And I would like to thank Florence Aki, who hosted Alice at Oden as an intern. And now the other winner is Cyril Bloch, who let me point out that this Students' Award highlights not just the student but the university as well, because this is where these students were exposed to the profession. And I would like to thank Cyril for doing this. This is the 6th time around that the University of Aix-Marseille actually got the award. And these are the actual awards they get. I mean, it's a big, large check. Well, you don't need to hold the microphone. I'll hold it for you. But Alice, maybe about your dissertation on top of what was said by Mathilde. Well, first I would like to say hello everyone, and why. I mean, I decided to write this dissertation because I'm a lawyer specialized in maritime law, but also I happen to be a high-level athlete in sailing, and so I worked at Oden in the insurance department. But working with my colleagues, I was concerned about how positive law could apply to the needs and requirements of boat racing. And you find sailboat racing, and there have been major events. In 2024, you had the Olympics in Marseille. There was the Vendée Globe, the American Escape. These events, these sailing events, showed that this has become highly professionalized. You have a growing development of an increasing development of that trend, and there's a technological as well as legal developments. In fact, this thing is coming together as we speak, and we find that when you have when you have boats that are barely touching the water and going at 100 kilometers an hour. I mean, these are for the America's Cup. That's the kind of boats sailboat that were being used. And then the traditional definitions or legal definitions of a ship are being challenged, aren't they? And also the risks are inherent in the very context of a boat race, because these boats are pushed to their limits to reach very high speeds. Indeed, sailboats reaching very high speeds, high performances, And so the very concept of risk, which underlines the context, the very concept of insurance, that is being challenged indeed, because suddenly you have a very high risk. And indeed, in some cases, it's not as if there's any uncertainty as to the risk happening at all. What you don't know is when it will happen, but you know that it will happen inevitably. The Vendée Globe thing, there were lots of ships, of sailboats that broke, their mast came down, and so the insurance contract has to be adjustable to take on board the fact that things are simply out of control. And so there are all sorts of clauses, exceptions, exemptions to reflect the actual situation at sea. And what I tried to do in my dissertation was to see the implications for insurance policies, looking on what industry players were offering to cover these events. And at the end of the day, you want to be able to cover control risks for not just the insurers, but of course the teams themselves and those who organize the events. All right, well, thank you for this event. And now you will... Cyril, maybe the connection between your university and the world of insurance, because we know that year after year you have quite a few candidates who've actually been receiving awards right here. Well, yes, I'd like to thank the organizers, and I would like to thank the sponsors for this award. It's very important for the university to get such awards. I mean, this award is probably the most prestigious we can display. So thank you so very much. Now, the connection between the university and the world of insurance, I mean, at Art University at Aix-Marseille, Alice conducted her master's degree in the maritime, but we have the same for the for air transport and for the supply chain. So all modes of transport are covered. So these are areas that our students are well familiar with. And so we see that we have an old connection here. Every time I come here, I come across former students, and I think to myself, well, this is an industry that really looks kindly on our graduates. I haven't quite worked out the calculation, but anywhere between 20 and 40% do their internship in the insurance industry, for working for insurance companies, or for brokers, or other players in the industry. So it's a large number, come to think of it. A large number of students in our master's degree will go to insurance companies. Others go to law firms as well. We have quite a few interns. I mean, so, well, it stands to reason because of the profile of our curriculum. Well, now you will we will take an official picture of all 5 of you. So if you will kindly stand for the picture.
Eh bien, écoutez les...
Well, the discussion will continue in a few seconds with Sabine de Rosière for a discussion about nuclear's role in shipping.